Hey everyone, in this video we're testing the cameras of the Pixel 7 Pro against the Galaxy S22 Ultra, which in my opinion has the most versatile camera setup of all the flagships this year. Let's start off this comparison by taking a look at daytime photos with the main wide lens. Right off the bat, the most noticeable differences between the two phones are the way each phone handled exposure and color. The S22 Ultra favors brighter shadows and highlights, while the Pixel 7 Pro leans more towards adding more contrast and having a balanced shot. The S22 Ultra also likes to add more saturation to the photos. You can really see it in these next few shots. Take a look at how saturated the grass and leaves are. It definitely did not look like that in person. When it comes to preference, I'm leaning more towards the Pixel's photos most of the time. The colors look more natural and not overdone. It also balances exposure more consistently than the S22 Ultra. Another noticeable difference between the two cameras is that the Pixel leans more towards a pinkish or reddish tone, while the S22 Ultra lands more towards a cooler tone. I brought this up in my last camera comparison between the Pixel 7 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. If you haven't seen that yet, a link to the video will pop up here, or you can click the thumbnail at the end of this video. It's not extremely noticeable at first, but when you do notice it, it's hard to ignore. Take a look at this photo. The pinkish tone is definitely noticeable, whereas on the S22 Ultra, it's more true to life with a tan shade. Here's another example. It doesn't seem as noticeable here, but if you look at the plant box, the pinkish hue is there on the Pixel photo. It's all preference though, and I honestly don't mind it. The next set of photos are from this beautiful Japanese garden in South Seattle and were taken during golden hour. I had just updated the S22 Ultra to One UI 5.0, hoping that Samsung would tone down the rich colors and bright exposure. As you can see, nothing has changed. The phone still leans toward brightening the overall shot and color saturation. These set of photos really show how different each phones capture the scenery. Which one do you prefer? In these next photos, I grouped together all the daytime photos from all the lenses of both phones. In this first photo, you can immediately see the difference in color tones between the two cameras. The S22 really went towards a cooler bluish tone. Moving through the rest of the lenses, the versatility of the S22's cameras are great. The 10x zoom is something that I didn't think I would miss too much after switching to the Pixel, but it's just so great for getting those really zoomed in shots. Moving on to nighttime photos, I'll just say right off the bat that I prefer more of the photos coming from the S22 Ultra. It doesn't have the strong, cool bluish tone that the Pixel 7 Pro seems to struggle with in certain shots. Take a look at how blue the light on the cars look here. Here's another example where the difference is really obvious. I hope that Google can push out an update soon to fix this white balance issue because it's pretty bad. As for the rest of the nighttime photos, the S22's photos are more true to life. Here we have a lens flare test, and I always like to see if the lens flare is bad or not. I know Samsung said that the S22 should handle lens flares better, and it did do a better job in this photo. The Pixel's lens flare is just so crazy looking. I'm not sure what happened with the Pixel's processing here, but it looks like it wasn't sure how to deal with the overhead street lamp lighting. It looks horrible, honestly. The S22 also struggled in these next two photos. It showed strong purplish flame around the light bulbs, and no matter how many times I took the photo, it kept showing the same thing every time. Here's a nighttime zoom test showing a photo from each lens. Look at how much noise is in the Pixel's ultrawide. The S22 cleaned it up so well and definitely has the better performing ultrawide. With the main wide lens, the Pixel cleans up the noise better, but it still has a little bit if you look at the tiling at the bottom of the photo. In these two photos, both phones struggle with handling the noise, especially in the dark areas, but I like the S22's shot here. For the 5x and 10x zoom shots, the Pixel shot looks cleaner here, but I'm surprised at how decent both photos look. And just for the heck of it, I included some zoom shots that show how bad they can look when the phone opts to crop the main wide lens instead of using the zoom lenses. It just looks awful, especially on the S22 Ultra's 10x zoom. Let's move on to the video portion of this comparison, and we'll start with the daytime clips. First off, the Pixel doesn't have the smoothest zoom transitions. There's a jump every time the phone switches to the 5x zoom. The S22 on the other hand has quick but smooth transitions. Each phone's photo color and exposure tendencies also carry over in the videos. In this clip, the Pixel performs poorly. There's noise visible no matter which lens is used. It's honestly strange to see this when it's a daytime clip. In this clip, I'm walking and testing how well stabilization is working. They're pretty similar, but I think the S22 edges out the Pixel by a tiny bit. Here's an ultra-wide lens test. You can see how soft the Pixel's video looks compared to the S22. Stability is pretty good on both phones though. Which daytime video do you prefer? I try to avoid shooting video at night because it doesn't look good in my opinion, but here's some quick samples. Once again, the S22 outperforms the Pixel when it comes to noise control. Stabilization wise, both phones look even though. There are times though where the Pixel shows a little more noise but has a smoother video, while the S22 does the opposite. Ultimately, it's a personal preference once again. Let me know in the comments which camera you would rather carry with you. As always, don't forget to give this video a like, and if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks y'all.